So I reached out to several different people who knew Zombie, and this is what they had to say about him. Enjoy.
What do I think about Zombie? Well, Zombie is just the guy that's putting on so much work in this club. I've been here for about, I don't know, 5 months, and I've seen Zombie do so much. He's always working hard, getting those collabs going. Zombie to me is a role model. I look up to him. I think he is a really, really good guy. What do I think of Zombie as an owner? Well, as an owner, he's always putting in his best. Zombie is, again, a great person. Really, I think he is, from other clubs that I've seen, the owners don't seem to be so passionate the way Zombie is. I think this place is going to thrive because Zombie is one of the owners.
Alrighty. Uh, Zombie is honestly a really awesome dude. I've met him through Cozy Club, through one of the events, and honestly became a mod. Worked my way through to head mod, and Zombie has been there every step of the way, making me a better person, just keeping me going forward. Really, really enjoy him a lot. Very good friend. Zombie, you are a awesome person. You have been with me through the last 5 months, and you have honestly kept me going when I needed a friend and given me a place to call home and given me an awesome community to take care of and help nourish like you do.
So, the way I think of Zombie alongside Carrie as an example is that they're both two halves of a basically inseparable dynamic duo. And Zombie, well, without either of them, I don't think the club would be here. But Zombie's key strategy, I think, is also what makes him a very approachable co-owner. He has always been the networking guy. I'm pretty sure he is the most. I know a guy who knows a guy person I've ever met in my entire life, and outside of VR. And the fact that he gets along with so many people so well is partially why I feel so comfortable being under him in the Cozy Club. He's really patient and willing to listen, and he's just a chill guy to be around even when there's nothing of concern that needs to be raised. And when there is, well, it doesn't matter how bad it is, he's not gonna ignore you. So, Zombie, I would say, is not necessarily the only heart and soul of the club. I think both co-owners are parts with which the club could not function. But Zombie has always been the more outgoing one of the two, I think. He's the networking guy, and I think that's his main advantage as far as being a staff member goes. He is one of the most amicable people I've ever met. He is the kind of guy who always knows someone who can help with whatever. I'm pretty sure at this point he knows half of VR chat. I met him a bit long before Cozy Club ever happened in a cozy boat, and it was literally just the vibes alone that convinced me enough that he was the right guy for the job when things eventually came to be. And I think it's his main strength as staff because he's one of the most approachable people I've ever talked to. If anything goes wrong, if I have any concerns, if something goes awry, if I need to report something, if I have completely screwed something up, he has open ears, and he's not gonna be angry at me for using him as a shoulder to lean on. Because sometimes the club really needs that, and I think he is one of the best people there ever could have been in that position. Well, I think he's definitely a larger-than-life character, and I don't think the club would be the same without him. Consistently, he's been a very handy pair of ears to fall onto. Basically everyone knows him, and I feel like there's a good reason for that. He's a very approachable person. If I completely shat the bed or something, then so be it. I could just go and say, "Hey, Zombie, I've messed up," and he would understand. He's not the kind of person who I would expect to never give consequences out for anything, but at the same time, He is capable of listening, and I think that's one of the best things about him.
So I originally met Zombie at a club that shall not be named, and what's stuck to me about Zombie to me is just his overall demeanor is almost like pure kindness with a tinge of sassiness, which is pretty rare in VR as everyone's kind of a shithead most of the time. And to just have this almost mom-like figure walking around, helping everyone out, being nice all the time, and trying being a guiding force in a positive light, really stuck out to me. And I think he's one of my best friends. He's a great friend in real life and my best friend on VR. I would say that he does a really good job at looking out for everyone and making sure everyone has a good place to be comfortable and step away from whatever's bothering them in their personal lives and have a safe space to come and hang out and be whoever they want to be. And also, you can always reach out to him on the real side, and he'll help you out at the drop of a hat. You know, like when I go climb Mount Rainier and die and freeze to death in the mountain, I'm gonna stay in his guest bedroom beforehand, so he'll always have a great memory of that way. And Zombie has really stuck out as a guiding force in the community as he's decided to create his own space for everyone to be safe and comfortable within for safer work, but also an adult space, which is pretty amazing. Just to come and hang out and do whatever. And
Zombie is a very nice fellow. He's very caring, very creative. He looks out for everyone he's around. He makes sure everyone is seen and heard and cared for, and he doesn't let anybody's ideas go to waste. He always hears us out. Zombie is such a party animal. It's nonstop party for him. Everything's a party. Whether you're just listening to music and vibing with him, or even watching a movie, he'll always find a way to make it very lively, very fun. Just all party, huge.
Zombie's a pretty good person overall, I believe. He's very kind and he's super friendly. When I first met him, he gave off such like positive energy. He's helped me out through some really, really hard times. He's been there for me. He's pulled me out of some dark places. Overall, he's a good club owner as well. He's worked everything from the bottom up. He's made everything pretty fun and enjoyable and a pretty good space to be. He makes everybody feel cared for and loved, and I just think he's a pretty good person in what he does. And I mean, he seems to know what he's doing, you know? He seems to really put care and passion behind Cozy Club and just everything in general that he does in his life. And honestly, there's not much else I can say besides the fact that he's just a very caring and loving person. I don't know. He's a funny dude. I love talking about zombies so much. The jokes he puts out, the stuff that he does in VCs. I got a new job recently, and he already knows every time I join a VC. He calls it pup dates. I show him like the dogs that I work with and the animals that I'm around, and he just has like the best reactions of like throughout everybody that's there, and it's funny. I find it funny. He seems to be the life of a party whenever he's around. He seems to just be super supportive. It's like a little, I guess, father figure kind of for people. He seems to be just there when you need him, and seems to pop up there when just randomly.
So if you look up the word groovy in the dictionary, there's probably a picture of Zombiepunk in there. You come across all kinds of people in VR, all walks of people, but Zombiepunk is honestly like a true individual in this like cyberspace hellscape, honestly. I can find myself chatting with him about nothing and everything all at once for hours. He's such a comfortable person to be around, and I absolutely adore the guy. So if you looked up the word groovy in the dictionary, there's probably a picture of Zombiepunk in there right next to the definition. You come across all kinds of people in VR. Zombiepunk is honestly a true individual, though. I can find myself chatting with him about nothing and everything all at once for hours. He's just such a comfortable person to be around, and I absolutely adore the guy. I am honestly really fortunate to know these people. They make the environments, the events they craft into enjoyable, safe, fun, and interactive experiences. I truly could not ask for a better team of people to be leading this group. I adore them both. That's it.
Zombiepunk, one of the chillest vibes around. Zombiepunk's one of the chillest people around. He's probably one of the only owners of all the clubs I've worked for that has just straight up been very understanding with how difficult it is to attend events on time due to how late I get home. And then he knows I need time off because I'm also making content on the side of my own. And he's very understanding of all of that. I love working for Zombie. That's why I've stuck with Cozy Club the longest out of all the other clubs I've worked for.
All right, so Zombiepunk, my boy. How the fuck do I know this guy? Who knows? He's a bassist. I was gonna say he sucks, but he's actually a really good bassist. So that's how we met. Just music, homies. Let's go. All right, Zombiepunk. I like to call him the man of many outfits, and also, what did he say? The 7-foot Amazonian. Guy's like 9 feet tall. You either go like this, or you go like this, or you match eye level with him and just go with it. It's awesome, but let's go. 7-foot tall Amazonian for the win.
I would say the best thing about Zombie is that he's always in the voice call with us, very present amongst the community, but also really helpful. I mean, the number of times that Zombie has sat down with me and we've gone through music before sets, or I've got advice on it. Especially, I've noticed with other members, it's literally about anything. There's always a good piece of advice from Zombie. I think the biggest thing that really helps is, as an owner and a DJ, Zombie kind of knows what we want. I say we as one of the DJs, it's the fact that Zombie knows, as a DJ, what I like and don't like in a world. So there's I'm never joining a Cozy Club world and thinking, oh, I wish that it had been set up like this. On top of that, it's kind of refreshing to see, honestly, an owner who actually asks members what they want and then implement what can be implemented. It's appreciated.
Zombiepunk is one of the most personable DJ hosts I have ever seen. Like most rave hosts are pretty nice. Like you can walk up to them and maybe they'll talk to you, but Zombie really makes you feel like you're a part of a family, no matter what. Like it's so cool that he feels like he gives everyone who walks into that venue the time of day. And he gives everybody equal attention. It's just nice. He's a great guy. Zombie is incredible at making you feel like you are a part of his family. He is so kind and considerate to everybody who walks into one of his events. He always gives you a good hi if you go and greet him. He's very personable, very approachable, and he has a level of professionalism that I personally respect a lot. But it's not just professionalism. Like he's able to achieve professionalism without taking himself too seriously. He doesn't treat it like a business, but he does treat it with the level of responsibility that is required to do something like this. Kindly and successfully, and I have a lot of respect for him for that.
Oh man, Zombie, where to begin? That giant Goliath of a woman. No, they've been great, honestly. Especially as a community partner with Rift and with Cozy Club. Like whenever I want to bring them on board for something, there's like, yeah, let's do it. They're super enthusiastic. Super down for just about anything. And it's always a good time, like super approachable, and I kind of lost track from there, sorry. Zombie is a giant lovable goofball, honestly. Um, Anytime they talk to someone, it's super positive. They're always really encouraging. And that kind of leads into their work as well. Being one of their community partners, it's been great to work with them on any event that we're together on. There's ever been a time where I'm like, hey, like, does Cozy Club want to join us for like this game night, or like join us on this music event? They're always super down. They're always having a good time, and they always kind of brighten the room whenever they come in.
Zombie, ever since I started working at Cozy Club, I saw a huge potential for it to be fantastic, great, wonderful. And I've never lost that spark and that hope for Cozy Club. And I'm going to continue to strive for the best and the greatest that Cozy Club has to offer. And I'm glad that you gave me the opportunity to do this with you because we're partners, we're team, we're friends, and I want us to grow together. And I'm here for you and for all of Cozy Club through the good, the bad, and even the ugly. But we're going to do it together because you'll never do this alone. And I'll always be here to help Cozy Club grow right beside you. So, Plasma Fur, that big stinky poopy head, just kidding, didn't get any of his audio during his recording. So, I'll be cutting up the interview so you know what questions were asked.
Well, I was getting used to the club scene, and I noticed a lot of people were, partying hard, and it's a DGen kind of community, and that's not typically my style. And I was finding a lot of people were not finding their own niche, for like nice, chill, hangout kind of stuff. So me and my buddy started the club back in the day, probably almost, 5 more months. It'd be 2 years ago. Just so we could hang out with our buds and provide a little extra fun on just any random day that wasn't a typical rave. Absolutely. Like, there's tons of places. There's numerous, too many even places for you to go and just party hard, right? There's not places for you to go and like find somebody to snuggle up with and listen to some chill music and just zonk out for the night, or do stupid little themed events like we do a lot of our World Hop events, and we find interesting people to feature for the night. Tarot card readings, people who make AI chatbots for us to interact with, comedy shows. We've done fashion shows. We've done a lot of things that aren't typical for clubs to do. For our guests that come, you can expect, a fun, welcoming, inviting atmosphere for you guys. We like to interact with our community, I think more so than other clubs. That's one reason I have hosts and I interact with a lot of people, because I want people to feel like they're not just showing up to some random world. I want them to feel like they're showing up to like our world, our event, and what makes it special to them is, I think, the interaction with the staff, because you can go to so many clubs and not know who is a host, who runs the joint. And I think it's very important to attach faces and let people know the community that helps run everything and makes things happen. It's interesting to see people show up and, hey, I'm coming here because I know Jasmine's throwing a thing tonight, and Jasmine's awesome. Or even you when you're hosting for us. I love it when people show up and like, hey, where's Plaz? He's super duper fun. I want to go talk and stuff like that. That's really important to me.
Oh, there goes your hip again.
It does not like me sitting down. That's why I never do. There we go. Huh. No.
When I do it, I have to like really like lay back, like be the laziest possible to like get it to track.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make it look like I'm fucking like choloed out right now, just like in my gangster chair. Solid fucking chaw. Hey, Holmes. Super duper fun because for me that is very normal at this point to play in bands, especially like really wacky out there bands like Cosmic Trash. Because I've been playing music for over 20 years and performing for just as long. Cosmic Trash is like just far out there, hard, heavy 70s rock with a little surf and a little punk rock mixed in for fun. It's a great way to get out some aggression, go out on the town on a Saturday night, get paid, have a couple of free drinks, and just give people a fucking rockin' show. Maybe surprisingly, I would say no, actually. I think that me networking and just having fun and being, I think, genuine is really what's got a lot of people interested in working with us. The DJing for me is just something fun. I've booked a ton of DJs, and it was something I've never done IRL before, and just seeing the community and how much fun they're having on here, I got really excited about it, and I was like, basically, like, I need to try this. And it's as fun as it looks. The getting booked for other clubs and stuff like that is not really like a thing to like set up collabs or anything like that. That's me just personally booking time for myself. A lot of the times when I'm DJing, that is doing it for me and not necessarily the club. It is good advertisement because I always rock the banner and people know who I am and stuff at this point. But I don't use it for networking or anything like that. It's like if you book me, I'm going to show up, I'm going to play a fun set, and I'm going to have a great time, and I'm not really going to talk shop. But yeah, absolutely, it's time for me. I do a lot of stuff, and I'm musically inclined, and this is just another way for expression and for helping people have a good time. I love entertaining, you can probably tell. I just love seeing people have a great time, be able to look out on a crowd, bunch of people dancing, having a great time, throwing the emotes, enjoying the music, especially new music that they're not regularly exposed to, because I'm a square and listen to a bunch of music that's not really typically listened to on here, so I love sharing that. And the reception that I get from that is actually really good. I think the main thing from when we first started was just transferring our kind of like social community aspect into the full-on club scene, like the one that people would normally think of. My buddy CJ, who's a fantastic DJ, is like a perfect example where we booked him for one of our early events, and he was like, Cozy Club, like, what the hell what do they do? Like tea parties and stuff? Like, what do I play for that? And they're not wrong, we've done tea parties, so like, it's very on point, but, I don't think a lot of people were expecting us to be kind of like what I consider to be an artist heaven, where we do regular free spin events. I'm not restrictive on genres because I want to hear what the DJs want to play versus what I'm just telling them to play. Because if you leave it to the audience, you're just going to hear drum and bass and dubstep just nonstop. People won't get exposure to new things, and I want to challenge people a little bit, not just the DJs but also the audience. Absolutely. I think things can get stagnant on here. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's one reason I decided to throw my hat into the ring, is because I felt like there was a stagnation with the community. Everybody was doing something very, very similar, and I was like, how do we put our own spin on it? What's the extra spice that we can get? We do a number of events where I describe it to somebody I want to collab with, and they're like, what the hell is this? I've never done something like this, and they've been around for a long time, so that's really cool for me to hear. Yeah, honestly, a lot of it, I would say I don't know. This thing has taken off way more than I ever expected. We've been very welcomed into the community, which is something I wasn't expecting either. Because when we started out, we were just doing like out of the box things that I could think of that weren't rave centric and stuff, but like hopping onto the rave scene, everybody's absolutely dug us, and like really large groups that I wouldn't expect that would want to work with us have been ecstatic and reaching out to like, hey, I want to do something with you. Yeah, I know you do fun stuff. I know you do weird stuff. Like, how do I get in on that? When can we do something? It's really, really cool. I did not expect us to be taking off the way we do. I mean, like, lately it's basically we get like 300 members a month. It's an extreme rate of growth. I think you nailed it. For me personally, I started off as just a regular Quest user too. My wife bought me a Quest for Christmas, and I was a Questmas person. And it wasn't until months later that somebody told me I could hook it up. But yeah, it wasn't until months into it that somebody was like, "Oh, you can hook up to your computer, you know that?" And I was like, "Oh my god, no, I had no idea." So I tried it, and that's how I got, into the larger scene here. And I think it's super important to give people the exact same kind of experience. Like, there's a wonderful group called the Dreamwalkers. They're bringing on tons of new people. Fresh to VR, you got their fresh headsets, and I love doing events with them and working with their groups because you really get to hook, line, and sinker people into this. Really show them how amazing this can be. I love showing people like, oh, let's open your little menu. Yeah, okay, you want to do this? We'll do that for you. Show them the ropes, because so much of it's not explained to you, and unless you know somebody who knows somebody that's willing to help, you're kind of at a loss a lot of times. We do a lot of outreach to a lot of security networks between a lot of different clubs. There's kind of like a shared blacklist throughout the community, where all the clubs kind of reach out to each other and communicate like who we're blacklisting, why they're blacklisting. Generally, there's kind of a format that everybody follows in order to here's evidence, here's all the stuff, so it's not just hearsay. We have a security team that is usually at most of our events where they will, monitor everything, check out what's going on. We have programs that people use in order to detect avatar ripping or ripped avatars. So we try to go above and beyond, making sure that people feel secure and that they can come to a Cozy Club event and not worry about being harassed or having like a bad experience with people. We've been very fortunate in that I think just because of our aesthetic and the kind of vibe we put out, we haven't really attracted too many people who want to cause any problems. We have our share of bans and all this other stuff, but we've been very, very fortunate that the crowd that we have wants to come out and enjoy their time and not be a ruckus, Well, for me, I think one of my most memorable things was like our first big event with a larger club. We did one of our cuddle puddles with a group that had like no business talking to us at the time, but they really gave us a shot. It was my first time booking DJs, which was happenstance. I was like, hey, I have this idea. I'd love to have you join in on it. And they were basically like, bet, I'll book the DJs, you book the DJs, and we'll get back together. And I was like, I don't know any, but I didn't want to back out of it. So I went out of the way. I was asking everybody left and right, like, do you know DJs? Do you know DJs? I really need some DJs. Totally. I don't like to back down from things like that. We've done a bar crawl event with a group that's turned into a regular event because it's become so popular, where we hop between 3 different worlds and we have DJs or 2 DJs in each world. And that's kind of a fresh experience for people because it allows us to highlight worlds that aren't normally used, because a lot of people have their own home base world and you see the same venue every event, and there's all these fantastic world creators making all these very, very interesting club worlds. Or not even club worlds. A lot of times I kind of force people into like going to things that aren't necessarily a club world, but we'll make it one for the night. For me, it's a lot about providing self-expression for people. A lot of artists, dancers, DJs, musicians, There's a fantastic art community on here, and I think a lot of them are looking for different venues to play and express themselves. I know, like, for me personally, I would be searching out for that myself. And I think that provides an experience for our guests that they're not going to get at other clubs. A lot of clubs are very focused on doing one thing, which a lot of them do very well. But I like to be kind of like, not just a jack of all trades, but a master of all trades, really. I like to push myself hard for it. So, like, we recently started up a dance squad for go-go dancing and dance features. I'm working on a multi-band concert and featuring musicians more and more in the DJ scene, so people realize there's fantastic guitarists, singers, piano players who are just as talented and can provide just as much entertainment as, you know, some of the top-tier DJs. So recently, there's been a lot of DJs and club owners who've been taking interest from Final Fantasy and coming over here. They've been great. They're super talented, and they've really opened my eyes to the community that was over there. I didn't know there was such a big club scene in Final Fantasy. And after talking to them and trying it out for myself, it's just really fun, really engaging, really wonderful. And something I really want to focus on is a little bit of crossover between the talent pools. Get people over here that don't know anything about this and get them exposed to this, and also get people over to Final Fantasy. We just recently did a big mashup event where it took myself and a couple of other very talented DJs played sets over in Final Fantasy, and then the next day we had a bunch of Final Fantasy DJs play over here, and a lot of them, it was their first time in VR and their first time performing here. And the reception has been absolutely ecstatic. Lots of people are excited for us to come over there because the scene is a lot like how the VRC scene was when I first started, where a little degenny, and so people are really looking for somewhere refreshing and cozy, you know, to be. I'm still learning a lot about the scene over there. I'm still a lot of a noob. I'm getting introduced to a lot of people. But what I've seen so far is that there's actually not much of a difference. It's a lot of people who want to have fun, who are looking for things to do on any random day because it's the internet, so it's anybody's weekend, right? And that's one reason I like to run events on all sorts of random days, to give people opportunity who can't make it to a Friday, Saturday, or a Sunday show. So I love doing weekday events like Tuesdays and stuff. Just take a day that would be normally dead and boring for a lot of people and give them something to look forward to. Yeah, Cuddle Buddies. I met a number of people because like cuddling is like a really big thing on here. But something that I found was difficult for a lot of people is it's not focused in on individuals, right? Like you could find somebody who's just going to peace out in 5 minutes, or they're really not paying attention, or they'll start getting bombarded with friends joining and stuff. And there's a real need for intimacy for people on here. And something I wanted to help provide was that for people, right? So the Cuddle Buddies really focus in on individual one-on-one time with people. You can book them for an hour or two, whatever you're asking for. You can do game sessions, just straight up cuddles. A lot of them specialize in like ASMR or Phantom Sense and stuff like that to really engage people, calm people down, give them like the nice therapeutic time that a lot of people I think are searching for on here, but they don't have a means to really get that fulfillment.
And here's some funny outtakes.
Bottom power, zombie, you know.
Zombie, this one goes out to you. I would do the Rickroll dance, but I'm not in full body. You're awesome. Stay awesome. Please keep doing what you're doing, and I love you so much.
And, I am so happy that Zombie decided to take me on this journey with him as a part of security, as I am very power hungry, and that really is all I crave. And one of these days, I will just encrypt the entire database of the back end of the Cozy Club Discord server. I should not be named, but don't worry about it. And I may not have started a phishing campaign with ransomware embedded in PDF files for every Cozy Club staff member. Do not click it, Thiggle. And I am glad that he trusts me enough with this power that he's bestowed upon me. And I am so glad to bring it all down as in a Ragnarok style event for him. I love you, Zombie. I'm so excited for another Fanboy Friday. Let's fucking go. We'll have Muffy DJ it. Let's go.
The way Zombie talks, it's very, very funny. He talks all sassy and proper. And then I saw a photo of him at a little tea party place, and I was like, oh my god, that is so Zombie. A little bit fruity, but he has a wife, and I love that. He always sounds like high, like Shaggy from forgot the name of that, but he sounds high all the time, and I love it.
I don't know why, but Zombie gives off the impression that he's a very big, like, he sits on the porch and just eats cheese for no reason, you know? Like, he would sit there and just eat cheese for no reason at all, just staring out in a good view. That I don't know why, but I don't know, you know.
Zombiepunk is one of the chillest people around. He's been super understanding the whole time that I've been working with Cozy Club. He is one of the main reasons why Cozy Club is one of my longest working clubs going on right now. And because I worked for tons of others, I stick with Cozy Club. And I'm kind of jealous of the fact that he's got a sugar mama that is his wife. And good job. You got the bag. The rest of us couldn't.
You know, it's really unfortunate that we have just like a lack of like male wife and boy types in VR chat, honestly, and Zombiepunk's one of them. That's right. Male wife. That's what you are.
Zombiepunk. You. Sorry. Kidding. Love you, homie. Let's go. Motherfucker.
Zombie, I just want this to know. Fuck you, I'm not that obsessed with rollers. And no, I'm not playing How's Your Next Event. Fuck you.
Zombiepunk is a bitch-ass motherfucker who pissed on my wife. No. No reaction, damn. Oh, right, you muted. Zombiepunk is an incredible friend. An incredible venue owner, and an incredible community leader and manager. He's very personable. He's very emotionally mature. He handles all of his events very professionally, but he's not like a hard ass about it. He's just, I respect him a lot for what he does and how he does it. I think a lot of rave and social gathering community leaders in VR chat could learn a lot from how Zombiepunk handles himself, from how he organizes things, from how he treats his staff. He is definitely the gold standard, and I think the fact that Cozy Club has grown so fast really speaks to that, because I think a lot of people see that as well.
Zombie, I love all the outfits, but for the love of God, if you get any fucking taller, I swear to God, I will climb up you and beat you back down to the size you're supposed to be.
I wouldn't say so. I'm married to a fantastic woman, who I very treasure and value. The light of my life. So I would. Absolutely, I have a gun to my head. Absolutely. When in doubt, lean on my wife.